Hi guys, welcome back to the Study Hack series. This is the 28th study hack in the series, and we're going to look at how to answer questions, how to go about answering questions. Now, after we've just looked at how to identify and break down the question itself. So again, we're going to start with a quote, which is "Always have a backup plan." That's by Mila Kunis. Now, that depends on like which aspect of life you're talking about, whether a backup plan is good or bad, and it varies. But you're going to see why I brought that quote up, why it's going to be relevant. I'm going to share with you why that's important later on in this video. So first of all, what you need to do when answering a question is you should look at, after you've read the question obviously, is you should look at how many marks there are for that question. Okay, because that is a very important thing. That will tell you how many points you need to make and will be a general guide for how much you have to write. For example, if there is a 6 marker, you're going to, generally speaking, you're going to need to make more points and write a lot more than if there's a 3 marker. Okay, and obviously a 3 marker, in the case of the 3 marker, you're going to have to write more and make more points than if it's a 1 marker. Okay, so apart from guiding how much you're going to write, I'm going to talk about this quote here and how I'm going to bring it in. So imagine you've got a 3-mark question, okay? And you know that obviously to pick up those 3 marks in, let's say, like science, general subject like science, to pick up those 3 marks, you're going to need to make about 3 points. You probably need to make 3 correct points to get those 3 marks. Obviously, for maths, it's going to be different, where they're going to award method marks, working out marks. That's why I say for maths, show you're working out, and obviously the right answer will be awarded as well. But let's say for science, as an example, or most other subjects, they're going to be like, okay, this point is a mark, this point is a mark, and this point is a mark. So 3 marks for a 3 marker, 3 points for a 3 marker. Now, the problem with that is that often on the mark scheme, there will be 5 or 6 things that you could have written to get those 3 marks. So because people are going to respond differently, sometimes they're going to bring up different points, isn't it? Different students. So what you should do then in that case is, for that 3 marker, you should probably treat it like it's maybe a 4, 5, 6 marker. And you should basically cover as many points on that mark scheme as possible. So try and incorporate as much detail in your answers as possible. And what you're doing is, if you miss, let's say, if you miss one of the main points out of those 3 points that you got, then at least you got 1 backup point to back you up and save you if you didn't get that right. And if you have 2 backup points, that's even better. And 3 backup points, even better. So as many backup points that you can have. In other words, try to write as much to cover like 5 or 6 points, or as many points as you possibly can, obviously staying relevant to those to that 3-mark question. And I like to call them, in this case, backup points or insurance marks. So just in case you don't get the marks from those 3 points that you make, you've made a 4th or 5th point that will then save you and rescue that question for you, so rescue that mark for you. Okay, so try to do that wherever possible. Try to incorporate the idea of insurance marks, so just writing a bit extra with an extra few more details, or writing a bit more about that, obviously staying relevant to the question, answering it, to ensure that you can pick up as many marks as possible. That's a technique that I use, and I think is a very, very good way of going about things. Okay, now obviously the exception to that is if the question says state 1 reason. Okay, so if it says state 1 reason, you can't write 2 or 3 things. You just have to state 1 reason. Whereas if it says, another question says suggest how, then or state reasons, then you can write as many reasons as you can, just in case, even if it's a 1 marker, just in case you don't get that 1 mark for that, for one point for 1 mark, then at least you've made another point or a 3rd point to get that mark, just in case the 1 or 2 other points don't work out. Okay, so that's the action step. Try to incorporate backup points or insurance marks in questions, so that if your main points don't get the marks, you've got some backup things to save you, and that will help you pick up more marks in the exam. Okay, so please like this video, share it with your friends, comment down below, and subscribe to this channel so you keep on getting content. See you in the next study hack.